Hey everybody, welcome back here to 1908. We've got the Cubs against the Pirates here today, both tied for first place, 10 wins, 3 losses for each team. And we're going to go here to play the game if I figure out which tab is right. And it's going to be Honus Wagner here leading this off for the Pirates, hitting .333, .435 on base percentage, and he rolls a 26 for a 23. That's changed over to a 37. That'll be a strike. And overall, his next pitch is a 24 for a 13. That's a strikeout, one away, and that'll bring up Fred Clark here for the Pirates. And he rolls a 66 for a 0, and the secondary roll is going to be a 33 for a 2. So a big triple there for Fred Clark here at the very beginning of this game. And the infield will come in as Tommy Leach comes up there. And Leach rolls a 65 for a 35. That's a little pop-up over to the shortstop Tinker for the second out. That'll bring up Ed Abaticio, and Abaticio's roll is a 33 for a 7, and that's going to be a fly out over to left field. Left fielder Sheckard is there to get it for the out. We go to the bottom of the first, and here's Johnny Evers, my apologies, and he rolls a 15 for an 11. That's a single, and he steals second base. That brings up Frank Chance now, runner on second. He rolls a 12 for a 25, and that's going to be a line drive over to the second baseman, Abaticio, but Evers able to get back to the bag to prevent the double play. One away here for Johnny Kling. Kling rolls a 61 for a 36, and that's going to be a wild pitch that sends Evers over to third, and so the infield will come in again here early on. And Kling then rolls a 45 for a 14 and ends up walking. Infield comes in again. Jimmy Sheckard now up here, the cleanup hitter for the Cubs, hitting .240 this season so far. He rolls a 54 for a 45. That's a fly ball over to right field. Wilson is there for the catch, and Evers unable to move up. Here comes Jimmy Slagle now. It's 2 outs and a 0-0 game with 2 on. He rolls a 21 for a 30, and it's a fly ball over to Clark in left field for the out. And that'll do it. We go to the top of the second, and here is Owen Wilson. Wilson for the Pirates rolls a 41 for a 28. It's a ground ball over to Tinker, makes the play, throws to first for the out, one away. Harry Swasina now, and he rolls a 54 for a 45. And the little E rolls a 13, which means it changes to a 21. That's going to be an error on the first baseman, Frank Chance. That'll bring up George Gibson with the runner on at first base, 1 out here, top of the second. And Gibson rolls a 36 for a 33. That's a pop-up over to the third baseman, Steinfeld, who makes the play, 2 away. And here's Beals Becker. Becker rolls a 65 for a 35. And the secondary roll is a 36. That's going to be a foul out to the catcher, Kling. And we'll go to the bottom of the second. It's Joe Tinker. He rolls a 53 for a 20, change it to a 22. It's going to be a ground ball over to the first baseman, Swasina, who makes the play, flips over to Willis for the out, 1 away. Harry Steinfeld now rolls a 62 for a 12, ground ball over to Swasina. This time he does it himself, 2 away, and it's Wildfire Schultz. He rolls a 53 for a 15, change to a 21. That's going to be an error there on Swasina. And he goes to first base. I was just looking at Swasina's rating of 2 as a first baseman, and I thought that's going to be a problem, and it is. And so it's overall here, the pitcher, who rolls a 31 for a 13 and strikes out, and we'll go to the top of the third. Up now is Vic Willis, the pitcher for the Pirates. Still 0-0. Willis rolls a 34 for a 44, and there is a little E possibility, and he rolls a 12 within the little E. That changes this to an 18, which means it is an error on Joe Tinker, and that will allow Willis to reach first base. And here comes Honus Wagner. Willis's card looks like this. So, yeah, we're not going to do anything fancy with him. Wagner rolls a 14 for a 43, and there is another little E roll. 2 errors on the Cubs and 1 on the Pirates already in this game. This little E rolls a 51, so it's out of the range. That's a fly ball by Wagner over to Sheckard in left field for the first out. It's Fred Clark now. Rolls a 35 for a 40, and that is going to be a what? That's going to be a ground ball over to the first baseman, Chance, who throws over to Tinker at second for 1. Unable to complete the double play afterwards, though. There's 2 away here in the top of the third, and it's going to be Tommy Leach, who rolls a 43 for a 29. That's a ground ball over to the pitcher overall, who throws over to first for the out. We go to the bottom of the third inning, and it's going to be Johnny Evers. Evers rolls a 22 for an 8, and that's a ground ball over to Honus Wagner, who makes the play, throws to first for the out, 1 away. Frank Chance now rolls a 46 for a 13, and he will strike out. 2 away for Johnny Kling, who rolls a 34 for a 44. There's a little E roll, and it's a 45, and that means there'll be a fly ball over to center field. Center fielder Becker is there for the out. We go to the top of the fourth, and it's going to be Ed Abaticio. And so I'm just going to get this all ready for us. Abaticio will lead off here at the top of the fourth inning. Still nothing going on the scoreboard. And his roll is a 22 for an 8, which is a ground ball over again to Tinker. Throws to first for the out, 1 away. Owen Wilson up now for the Pirates, and he rolls a 36 for a 33. That's a little Little E roll, sorry. It's Little E rolls a 31. That's going to be a pop-up over to Evers, the second baseman, for the second out. That'll bring up Harry Swasina, and Swasina rolls a 16 for a 26. It's a ground ball this time to Evers, who throws to first for the out. We go to the bottom of the fourth. It's one of those games. Jimmy Sheckard. Sheckard rolls a 65 for a 35, and the Little E roll now is a 22, and that's within the range. That's going to be an error on Honus Wagner. And so now they're even at errors with 2 each and even at hits with 1 each, and that brings up Jimmy Slagle. And Slagle rolls a 56 for a 34. There's another Little E roll. This time it's a 46 out of the range. So that's a little high fly pop-up over to Wagner. He makes the play this time, and that'll bring up Tinker. Tinker with Sheckard on at first. Sheckard does have that 11, so we will hit and run with him. And we'll roll that one again. As you can see, that one popped out of everything. And now the roll is a 45 for a 14. That's a strike on Tinker, and Sheckard is able to steal second. That's why we always look for that 11. Next roll for Tinker is a 61 for a 27. That's a ground ball over to Leach, a third, who makes the play and throws to first for the out. 2 away. Harry Steinfeld rolls a 44 for an 8, and that's going to be a comebacker over to Willis. He makes the play, throws to first for the out. We'll go to the top of the fifth in this fast-moving ball game, and it's George Gibson up there who rolls a 54 for a 45. Little E roll is going to be a 42 out of the range. That's going to be a fly ball over to right field, and it is, where are you, Schultz, who makes the play, 1 away. Beals Becker now rolls a 64 for a 29, and that's going to be a strikeout. Strikeout number 2 for overall, and here's Vic Willis. Willis rolls a 41 for a 27, another strikeout for overall. We go to the bottom of the fifth. Wildfire Schultz up there now in a real pitcher's duel. Schultz rolls a 53 for a 15, changed to an 18. That's another error on Honus Wagner. 3 errors on the Pirates. That brings up overall, who of course is going to bunt. He rolls a 33 for an 8. Comebacker, the bunt is over to Willis, the pitcher. He throws over to Abaticio, covering at first. Schultz moves up to second. It's a good bunt. 1 out now, 2 chances for the Cubs to drive the run in. Evers rolls a 52 for a 27. That's a ground ball over to the third baseman, Leach, who makes the play, looks Schultz back to second and throws over to first for the out. 2 away, and here's Frank Chance. Chance up there now, and he rolls a 31 for a 9, and that's going to be a single, and that will score the run, but Chance is then thrown out trying to steal. So it is a 1-0 game here going to the top of the sixth inning, rather. And here is Honus Wagner for the Pirates. Wagner's 0 for 2 today, and he rolls a 43 for a 29, and we'll do this if I can get this in the right window, and he strikes out, 1 away. Fred Clark up there now. Only 3 hits in this ballgame overall, thanks to overall, and he rolls a 53 for a 15, changed to a 17, doesn't matter. That's a fly ball over to Schultz in right field for the second out. Tommy Leach now rolls a 12 for a 24. That's a little ground ball over to Tinker, who makes the play and throws to first for the out. Bottom of the sixth, and it's Johnny Kling. He rolls a 56 for a 32. It's a fly ball over to right field. Wilson has it, 1 away. Jimmy Sheckard rolls a 62 for a 12, and that's a ground ball over to Swasina. The first baseman does it himself, 2 away, and it's Slagle who rolls a 43 for a 29, and he hits a comebacker back to Willis, throws to first for the out. We go to the top of the seventh, and it is that part of the ball game. Abaticio is back up. We love this guy's name. He rolls a 45 for a 14, and he takes his base. First base on ball given up by overall against 4 strikeouts, and here comes Wilson, who will bunt. Wilson's roll is a 46 for a 27, which you hate because it's 2 strikes. That turns the bunt away. Next roll is a 13 for a 40, changed to a 36, And so there's a wild pitch as overall is trying to get the punch out and throws a little bit too much on that one. Runner on second base, nobody out still for the Pirates, who are looking to tie this game. And the next roll by Wilson's a 34 for a 44. Fly ball over to center field. Center fielder Slagle is there for the out, 1 away, and here's Swasina. Swasina rolls a 26 for a 30, and that's a fly ball over to Sheckard in the left, 2 away, and it's George Gibson now, and he rolls a 35 for a 38, and that will be a single between third and short, and that's an infield single, and it allows Abaticio to go to third base. That'll bring up Beals Becker now, runners on at first and third, but with 2 outs here, top of the 7th inning, only the second hit of the game for the Pirates. And his roll is going to be a 63 for a 30. That's going to be a fly ball over to left field Sheckard, who has it for the out. We go to the bottom of the 7th, and it's Joe Tinker. Tinker rolls a 16 for a 28, ground ball to Honus Wagner, throws to first, 1 out. Harry Steinfeld now rolls a 41 for a 28, another ground ball to Wagner, throws to first, 2 away, and his Wildfire Schultz, who rolls a 44 for an 8. It's a fly ball over to center field. Becker has it for the out. We go to the top of the 8th inning. Vic Willis up there for the Pirates rolls a 15 for a 9, and there's a single. Wow, the pitcher got a hit. And so that brings up Honus Wagner. We know from before, last time that Willis was on, that we're not going to do anything really fancy. Wagner rolls a 42 for a 9. That's going to be another base hit. That's an infield hit against Overall, who had been dominating. He had been amazing so far in this game, and they are sort of nibbling away at him. You know, I don't know if you've seen this game or not, but there's an old game I always used to like to watch in my earlier days, actually, when I was in college. If you watch Game 5 of the 1980 NLCS, you'll see this. Renolan Ryan gets to the 8th inning pitching against the Phillies, and they don't do much to score a lot of runs off of him in terms of power hitting. Instead, it's all this nibbling, this little infield hit there, a little walk there, and next thing you know, he's in trouble. Fred Clark up there now with runners on at first and second, and Clark, who's hitting 278, is going to bunt. See if we can surprise him. And the rolls a 41 for a 28, and that's a good bunt over to the left side. Steinfeld makes the play, has to throw to first. Chance goes back to the bag to cover and make the play. Now there's only one out, 2 runners in scoring position, and the Pirates have a chance, perhaps, to come away with the lead. And I will note that Willis is a fast runner for a pitcher, especially, which is a very, very significant thing here, because with Willis being the fast runner, anything can happen. It's a lot easier to score even on a fly ball. Here is Tommy Leach. Tommy Leach up there, and he rolls a 56 for a 30, and that's a fly ball to left field. Sheckard has it for the out. That's the last thing in the world you want to see if you're a Pirates fan. You want to see him hit that ball to the right side, not to the left side, and instead he ends up pulling it. I'm sorry for the pause. I have to remember which side is right, which side is left. He ends up pulling that ball instead of trying to go the other way with it, and the result is a little weak fly ball to the left fielder Sheckard for the second out, and that'll bring up Aviticio. Aviticio rolls a 16 for a 26, and that's going to be a little ground ball over to second base, and it is Evers who has it, throws to first for the out. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning, and that was much ado about nothing. Here's Overall, the pitcher, and he rolls a 25 for a 23, changed to a 40. It's going to be a foul ball. Next rolls a 15 for a 10, and that's a single to center field. Hit number 3 for the Cubs, and that'll bring up Johnny Evers. Evers rolls a 41 for a 28. That's a ground ball to Honus Wagner, who has to make the play at first. Overall goes up to second, 1 out. Frank Chance now, and he rolls a 14 for a 43. It's a little fly ball over to left field. Clark has it for the out, 2 away, and it's Johnny Kling. And Kling rolls a 34 for a 44. It's a quiet fly ball over to center field. Becker has it for the out. And here we go, top of the 9th. It's going to be Owen Wilson to lead us off for the Pirates. Wilson rolls a 62 for a 12, and that's going to be a little ground ball over to Frank Chance. First baseman who grabs it, does it to the bag himself, 1 away, and it's Harry Swasina. Swasina rolls a 14 for a 43. It's a fly ball over to left field, and Sheckard has it for the second out, and it'll be George Gibson now, the last hope for the Pirates. And Gibson rolls at 26 for a 27. That's going to be a strikeout for Overall, who gets number 5. What a fitting way to end it. And there you go. It's a 1-0 win for the Cubs. It was not very easy. It was very close, especially near the end, but they were able to pull it off. Final score again, Cubs 1, Pirates 0. Cubs take a 1-game lead here in the National League. And this is exciting, isn't it? Talk to you later. Bye-bye.